There's a moon currently orbiting Earth, and it has been there for at least 60 years. 60 years! And we're just now finding out about it. The Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii discovered 2025 PN7 on August 29, 2025. But here's where it gets weird. Archival data shows this moon has been in a synchronized orbit with Earth since the 1960s. For over 6 decades, this object moved in step with us, and nobody told us. Not NASA, not the International Space Agencies, not the Minor Planet Center that tracks these things. They watched the data accumulate, they analyzed the old photographs, and then silence, until August 2025 when they couldn't hide it anymore. Let's start with what we officially know. On August 29, 2025, astronomers using the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope detected something not too far away from Earth. They named it 2025 PN7. Nothing unusual about that. We discover space objects regularly. But then they searched the archives. They dug through old telescope data, and what they found changed everything. This asteroid didn't just show up in 2025. It was visible in photographs dating back to 2014. Let that sink in. We had images of this object for 11 years. 11 years of data sitting in databases. How many people saw those images? How many researchers pulled up that data and just didn't connect the dots? Or worse, did they connect them and got told to keep quiet? The numbers don't lie. 2025 PN7 has been in a synchronized orbit with Earth for approximately 60 years, since the 1960s, when our grandparents were alive, when we weren't watching the skies. This isn't some tiny speck they can excuse away. 2025 PN7 is approximately 19 to 36 meters across. That's roughly 62 to 118 feet. Think about that. It's the size of a small building. It's as long as 2 school buses parked end to end. And we're supposed to believe nobody noticed it for 6 decades? They said it was too faint to detect. That's the official excuse. The brightness is magnitude 26.4, too dim for amateur telescopes. Okay, so maybe that's honest. Maybe it really was hard to spot. But here's the part they're glossing over. This object swings within 186,000 miles of Earth at its closest approach. That's less than the distance to the moon. Actually, let's be specific. It comes within roughly 299,000 kilometers of us. For 60 years, this object has been closer to us than the moon is sometimes, and they're claiming they didn't know? Do you know the part that doesn't make sense? Earth has at least 6 other known quasi-moons: Cardea, Kamualewa, 2006 FV35, 2013 LX28, 2014 OL339, 2023 FW13. That's not counting 2025 PN7. We're talking about 7 confirmed quasi-satellites currently orbiting in sync with us. 7! And how many more are out there that we haven't discovered yet because they're too faint? How many were discovered years ago and quietly categorized and then just forgotten? Here's what bothers us most. The discovery pattern doesn't add up. The Rubin Observatory, a brand new telescope facility, is just starting full operations in 2025. Experts are already saying we can expect a flood of new discoveries now that it's coming online. A flood. That language suggests they know there's a lot more out there. So why didn't they use this kind of technology sooner? Why did we wait until August 2025? One answer, they have different priorities. NASA's Near-Earth Object Coordination Center focuses on what could threaten us. 2025 PN7 poses no impact threat, so maybe it wasn't a priority. That's what they want us to believe. But think about the implications. If we're not even looking for objects that don't threaten us, what else are we missing? What's coming that we won't see because our detection systems are only calibrated to spot danger? And then there's the international coordination gap. The Minor Planet Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts manages all asteroid observations and orbit confirmations for the entire world. One organization, one database, and yet somehow a 62-foot wide object orbiting with us evaded their attention for 60 years? Either the system is broken or they're not telling us how broken it really is. Here's what they mention in passing. 2025 PN7 is currently in what's called a quasi-satellite configuration. It orbits the Sun, but from our perspective, it appears to orbit Earth. But, and this is critical, the paper published in the research notes of the Astronomical Society indicates this current phase will only last until 2083. What happens after 2083? It transitions to a horseshoe orbit, meaning it will appear to swing back and forth, approaching and retreating. But here's the buried detail. Future gravitational interactions could alter its path unpredictably. The research paper itself admits some future close encounter with the Earth could put it on an orbit that intersects either Mars or Venus. Excuse me? Could intersect Mars or Venus? That's not reassuring science. That's describing a path we can't fully predict. And they buried that admission deep in the technical language. Camel-Alewa is another quasi-moon we know about, and you know what's interesting? China just launched a mission called Tianwen-2 specifically to collect samples from it and return them to Earth in 2027. Why? Because they believe Camel-Alewa might be a fragment of our own moon, blasted off in some ancient impact event. So here's the connection we need to make. If quasi-moons are pieces of the moon, if they're fragments from impacts, then what are the other 6? What if 2025 PN7 is also a lunar fragment? And if our moon has been losing pieces to impacts throughout Earth's history, where are all the other fragments? How many are orbiting us that we don't know about? How many could potentially be hazardous? Nobody's asking that question publicly. That's a gap. NASA confirmed 2025 PN7 exists. The Minor Planet Center cataloged it. The research is published. 6 other quasi-moons surround us, and somehow the official response has been minimal. No major press conferences, no emergency assessments, no real acknowledgement of what this means for our understanding of Earth's cosmic neighborhood. They told us when they couldn't hide it anymore, but they're still not telling us everything. They're still not explaining why our detection systems failed for 60 years. They're still not disclosing how many more objects could be out there. They're still not being transparent about what these quasi-moons really are, or where they come from. We're in a cosmic dance with multiple unknown partners, and our dance instructors aren't even admitting the music is playing. The question isn't just, are there more quasi-moons? The question is, how much more are they not telling us? And why did it take 60 years for us to find out about this one?